behind these types of immersions is for us to have interesting conversations, not only with each other, but with whoever you meet here. So really do that.
Well, Africa has been left out of the global stage for quite some time now, but it's our time, it seems, because things are coming together and there are various resources that are emerging on the continent for purposes of helping us to become the world leaders.
My exposure to international business as well as international business schools is that those that do well are business schools that focus all their energies on solving problems that have scalable solutions. So sometimes as Africans we like to focus on just local problems, which is good and relevant, but I think we need to be thinking about solutions that can scale across the world, because we have more in common in a large part of the emerging world than we do with each other sometimes. So I think we need to be looking for solutions that can scale, that can touch many parts of the world, so that Africa doesn't remain isolated but is firmly integrated.
I think one of the ways that African business schools can really lead in global business innovation is in ensuring that the rest of the world understands what's going on in Africa in terms of the innovation that's going on the continent, in terms of all of the really interesting new ways that technology is being used on the continent, because there are things that are happening in Africa which will actually be able to solve problems technologically in places that go well beyond the borders of our continent.
I think African business schools should merge or at least collaborate strongly with tech schools, with engineering schools, but also with companies. Open the doors, open the windows, bring in technologies, but also create companies, not just teach to create companies, but to engage in companies. I think this is what a business school should do. To leave their rooms, to leave their space, to create new entities, but especially overcome borders and silos.
And the title of the event is really about pioneering change. And we've got Alistair Makwenya here from Google, who's going to be talking about the type of leadership that we are requiring for the future, but today. And so we'll be talking a little bit about that.
Firstly, we mustn't think of African business schools as being victims in this global movement. We must think of ourselves in Africa as being central to our own destiny, our own changes. Our past does not dictate our future. So while there are a lot of changes going on in the world, we're actually part of the world. And that's the thing I would say first. Take our destiny in our own hands, have a sense of our own identity, and start with that.
I would rather say it's much more important to not think about global challenges, but first and foremost to think about local challenges and ask yourself, how does a global mindset help you to navigate your local challenges? For me, is to recognize that you have to be deeply immersed in a context, and to recognize that the tools that are required to solve your contextual challenges are very different to tools that other countries are using. So against that background, on the one hand, is to learn from other countries, but to translate those learnings into your own context, because I think our problems are unique, are many, and are extremely existential.
Over the years, African business schools have been playing catch-up, for the reason that they are set up to help the African businesses navigate such complexities and volatile environments. So one way we have to do it is to be proactive with our research, but most importantly, be proactive in the way we help develop leaders and managers to think of the future.
If there's one word that I would associate with AABS, it's connection.
Community.
Powerful network.
Fantastic!
Futuristic.
Connected.
AABS is the crucible of ideas.